Barbs. Today we're going to go over anjaneyasana, which happens to be my favorite yoga pose and also reminds me of chipotle. With chipotle, you could add on a bunch of things in your bowl to spice it up. Like with anjaneyasana, there's a lot of variations you can take. And two, it's hard to have a bad chipotle bowl, and with anjaneyasana compared to other poses, it's hard to injure yourself. For example, compared to a balancing pose when you're on one foot, you're more likely to fall and hurt your ankle or something compared to in anjaneyasana when you're on your knee, so you're closer to the floor. Some priorities include 1, hip extension and groin flexibility. Your legs are going in opposite directions and your back leg is extended. 2, low back flexibility. Because you're raising your arms up and above and your hip is in extension, you need some low back flexibility in order to hold anjaneyasana. And 3, chest opening. Because your arms are up and you're opening your chest. The one pose I think, or drill, that can help with anjaneyasana is low runners. Stack your knee on top of your ankle, then have it a smidge in front. Place your hands on the mat, draw your shoulder blades down your back to open up your chest. For the first drill, pull your palms towards the back of the room as you pull your knee towards the front. So you'll feel the front side of your leg engaging as you do this. You want to hold this and also drag your heel towards the back. So this is not a passive runner's lunge, this is an active runner's lunge variation. After you hold that for a couple of breaths, reach and grab for your back foot. Then once you have it, face the front again. You don't want to stack your hips. From here, alternate by kicking into your hand, then pulling your hand and your heel towards the back of the room as you pull your knee towards the front. So kick, hold for a couple breaths, release your leg or relax your leg but still hold your foot, lower your hips, then pull your hand and your heel towards your knee and your knee towards the front. After you do that a couple times, release your foot and see if you can get a little bit further towards the front with your front foot. Then repeat how many times you want. When you're in anjaneyasana, if the balance portion is shaky for you, go near a wall and try anjaneyasana. That's one way you can do anjaneyasana with a modification. Because you have the support of the wall, when you do anjaneyasana, at least you don't have to worry about balance as much. Or another way you can modify anjaneyasana to get into it is, you're supposed to have your feet hip width distance apart, but if you walk your front foot out a bit, having a wider stance will help with stability. For anjaneyasana, you're going to have your knee stacked on top of your ankle. Point your tailbone towards the floor. Then lift your chest. Then lift your arms. While in anjaneyasana, if you feel like this knee is caving out, point it back so it's parallel to the midline of your body. Engage your glutes and push your glutes to the front as you use your breath to get deeper into anjaneyasana. For every inhale, elongate your spine and find some space. For every exhale, engage your glutes and get into a bigger back bend. Maybe you can even touch the floor. Some variations that I find very helpful in anjaneyasana is we sort of did it with the low runners, but instead we're grabbing our foot with our hand on the same side, then place your elbow on your thigh. By pulling your heel towards the outside of your glute, you're working your internal rotation and your quads. You can also do it on the opposite way and place your elbow on your thigh again. This helps also work your twist. You can also go into a side bend. Inhale, find length. Exhale, place your right hand on your thigh or off to the side or on a yoga block and point your fingers towards the corner. The more you point, the more opening you'll have in your hip extension. can also come into a twist by having prayer hands. You can also come into a twist with a T. You can also come into a revolved anjaneyasana. So inhale by length, exhale, start to shift backwards and grab your foot, then push your hips towards the front. You can also take a half camel. So instead of going revolved, you would grab your heel with the same side, then rotate your ribcage towards the ceiling and come into a back bend. There's other variations that you take, which is why I love anjaneyasana. Also, because you're closer to the mat and it's easier to get stability by just widening your stance, you can get a really deep stretch and work on your mobility as opposed to if you were in a crescent. Because you're on the ball of your foot on the back foot, it's going to be more wobbly. So you are working on your balance more in crescent, but if you want to work your mobility in other areas, lowering down to anjaneyasana is really helpful. So again, for anjaneyasana, the priorities are hip extension and groin flexibility, low back, and also chest. Thank you for watching.